spill coins.
Yes, coins.
Oh, buddy. Okay, so supposedly I'm live right now. Son?
All right. You want to come? You can go say bye to mommy.
Oh, okay. I guess I am live. Can you hear me though? That's the real question because I don't even know if this is working. Hey, do you want to come see this or not?
No.
Can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of highs, but can you hear me though? Okay, yes, you can hear me. Cool, 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 cool. Son, do you want to come say hi? He's been sitting in my lap waiting for me to go live so he could say hi to you, but he just got bored. So that's, apparently he's done with that. Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. All right, are you going?
I guess so. Jordan, do you want to come say hi?
My husband is going to take my son outside to play for a while. Thank y'all.
Here,
They want to see your chubby cheeks, son.
Oh, go say hi.
Hey, everybody. All right, so just let me know what you want to chat about. I'll try to keep up with the chat. Let me know what you want to talk about. Do you want to say hi? Look, there's Jinnen. Are you over it suddenly? That's fine. You don't have to. Bye, buddy. I love you.
I love you.
See you.
Okay.
Bye, husband.
Bye.
Bye.
Little hands.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being a bigger booktuber now? Dude, I don't know. I mean, it still feels the same as it did yesterday, but it's definitely not what I expected. Hey guys. Sorry, the joys of being a narrator. Your voice is always scratchy. He's 2.5. When I got my first boost through that Harry Potter video, which, man, that Harry Potter video is getting, yeah, that's how you spell it, Lynn. That Harry Potter video is getting another boost right now, which doesn't please me because I'm not exactly like, I don't love that video or anything. Didn't expect it to go viral. It was a video that I kind of, well, honestly, I was eating a sandwich and I thought, hey, this might be fun. And I wrote some stuff down on a napkin and then filmed the video 5 minutes later. I really didn't even put any thought into it. So I'm not thrilled that that video is one that people put a lot of focus on. But anyway, after that first boost, I was really terrified of how well it did and how much my channel was growing because I really liked being a small booktuber. And I didn't want numbers because I was afraid that my channel would change because I had such a kind community of people, and I was really afraid that as my channel grew, it would stop being this close-knit, kind people. I would stop looking in the comment section and recognizing everybody that I saw. It was just, growth was really scary for me. But it ended up being great. I mean, the attention around those Harry Potter videos, it's not great. People are not thrilled with me in those videos, which fine, whatever. But the people that stuck around, it just ended up being a bigger community of kind people. And after this boost that I just got again, once again, it's the same experience where I'm just still being surrounded by wonderful people. I look at my comment section and I'm still recognizing tons of people and getting to know more people. So it feels good to be at 50K. It feels pretty much the same, just more awesome people around than what were around before. Okay, holy cow. I'm going to try to scroll up a little bit in this chat because y'all are talking a lot faster than I am. So, let's see. Wheel of Time thoughts so far. I think I'm about to start Wheel of Time book 4. I read the first 3. They were all 3. I gave all 3 of those 4 stars. I'm really excited for book 4 because a lot of people say that that's like where the story really picks up speed and becomes like comes into its own. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just finished the 5th season right. Thank you, Jen. I just finished the 5th season right when like 5 minutes before this live chat started, so I have a lot going on in my head right now. And I thought I was going to dive straight into book 2, but I think after that ending, it hit me in the heart a little bit too hard. So I might want to take a little break and go into Wheel of Time book 4. We'll see what I actually decide to do. But anyway, I'm enjoying Wheel of Time. Okay. Do you still have that napkin? Napkin? A couple people are mentioning, I don't know what napkin is. Do you still have that napkin? I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. Okay. Napkin. Why is everybody saying napkin? Oh, do you still have that napkin? Y'all are asking me about something I talked about. Okay, I've already moved on. Do I still have that napkin? No, I threw it away as soon as I was done with the video. How was I supposed to know the video would do well? That's really funny. Y'all are hilarious. Any thoughts on reviews? I don't know. They're funny. I don't really have any thoughts. I think, I'm supposed to, okay, Jen, you asked me a question. I will answer your question. Which book has been your biggest surprise so far this year and biggest disappointment as well? Biggest disappointment, I don't think I've given out a single 1-star this year. So biggest disappointment is Wise Man's Fear because I had really high expectations for it and I was disappointed in it. Biggest surprise might be The Name of the Wind because I went in thinking I would hate it. So yeah, those are probably my answers. Okay. So thankful you made that video because that's how I found you. Thank you. Okay. Oh gosh, this chat keeps jumping. Which series of the ones you started recently are you the most excited to continue? Right now, I'm really craving some Wheel of Time. I really want to dive into book 4, so that's what I'm feeling like right now. But I'm also really excited for the second Broken Earth, which I don't even know what that's called. Oh gosh. Have you read, no, the Feast or Shannara series? No. Oh, by the same author? No, but I want to go through all her work now. Okay. What do you think about manga or light novels? I don't know what a light novel is, but I've recently started getting into manga. I am not like a super fan of manga yet, but I have really enjoyed a lot of the manga that I've read. I started reading Final Empire Mistborn because of your ideas on it. I'm about halfway done. It's amazing, absolutely worth it. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I love Mistborn. It's such a fun series. Haters gonna hate. Thoughts on Doctor Who? I love Doctor Who. I started with David Tennant and obsessively watched David Tennant and refused to watch Christopher Eccleston because I love David Tennant so much, and then went back and watched Christopher Eccleston. He did a really good job too. And then I also refused to watch Matt Smith because when David Tennant left, I was just devastated. But Matt Smith ended up being amazing. And then I didn't watch when Peter Capaldi started because right around that time I moved to California and I didn't have a TV and I didn't have internet where I was living, and it was not really a situation where I could keep up with TV at all. And I've never gotten back into TV in general. Do you know how many books you've read this year? I think 60 or somewhere in there. I'm really bad at keeping up with my books, so I don't think my Goodreads is correct, but it's reading right around 60. The chat keeps jumping. I'm sorry, guys. If I skip your questions, I don't mean to. It's because the chat is kind of difficult to keep up with. So you can repost questions if I miss something. Let's see. What do you think about aliens, ghosts, meaning of life? I don't know, man. That's a big one. Your channel is growing so fast. You host a live stream for 50K with 52K subscribers. Dude, I know. The algorithm's wild. It'll ignore you for a long time, and your channel will stand still, and then it'll say, hey, I remember you, and it'll throw you into everybody's subfeed, even if they would not be interested in you. And then they'll ignore you. It'll ignore you again. It's a weird thing. How's your reading outside of fantasy going? Pretty stellar. I think in the next few months, I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on like thrillers and light horror because I don't know, it's the spooky season coming up and I'm just really into that right now. So that's what I'm focusing that's what I think I'm going to start focusing on. I just started Dark Matter, so hopefully that'll be good. Fourth Wheel of Time book is amazing. You can see where Brandon Sanderson starts to get some of his ideas. Cool. I read Into the Drowning Deep because of your reviews. Nice. Got you out of your slump. That's awesome. That's a great one. Okay, trying to... Have you ever read Russian authors? I think, let's see, is iRobot that doctor? That author, is he Russian? I'm not sure where he's from. Isaac Asimov, I think is the name. And then I also read An Invitation to a Beheading, which I believe is Russian. I'm not entirely sure if I've read any others. Okay, I recently finished Mistborn Era 1. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys are loving Mistborn. Are you going to read Malazan, Book of the Fallen? Okay, let me tell you about that. Malazan is a book that really, or a series that really intimidates me, and not because of its size, because I couldn't care less how many books are in a series. That's not a big deal to me because I'll just work my way slowly through it. It's the fact that everybody that talks about Malazan says Malazan is the most difficult and challenging thing I've ever read, but I persevered and I'm glad I did. And that's a tough sentence, especially when it comes out of so many people's mouths. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm hesitant because I want to know what's so great about it, but at the same time, everybody says it's the most challenging thing they've ever read. That's hard to go into. That's a tough sell. So yes, there's someone that I chat with a lot on Instagram, and he said that he's read through the Malazan series 10 times in entirety, and he said that whenever I'm ready, that he'll buddy read it with me and go through the 11th time so that he can explain stuff to me and everything, which was really, really nice. So I might do that soon. I think I would like to read the first book this year. It's intimidating, though. I have not read Lightbringer 3 yet. I've only read Lightbringers 1 and 2. Oh gosh, the chat just jumped again. Okay, sorry if I missed your... Beartown is amazing, you're right. Okay. Malazan has some of the most horrible and funniest stuff I've read. Nice. You should try reading something by Ruskin Bond. Okay. I've never heard of that author. All right, guys. Thoughts about Night Circus? Haven't read it. Oh, no way. Elliot Brooks and followers are reading Malazan in September. Daggum. Now I feel like I should start it. I don't want to. It's too soon. I still have so many open series that I'm trying to close out. Okay. Have you read A Man Called Ove? No, I haven't. It's on my list, but for some reason, that's the one I'm putting off the most. I think it's probably going to be the last book that I end up reading by him because it's the most hyped book. And I don't know, it seems like a lot of times really great authors, it's like not their best books are the ones that are the most hyped. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of want to save it and have really low expectations. What do you think of the Dresden Files? Haven't read them, but I'm currently reading the Aeronauts Windless, and it's really good. Adoption Progress. Yeah, I would love to talk about that. So, okay. So I actually have been wanting to go ahead and get started, start our paperwork, all that stuff for a long time now, pretty much since we moved into this house, and it's been, I think, almost a year. We talked about once we get moved and everything, we would get started. But then my grandpa got sick, and there was a lot of, running around and trying to just, take care of each other. So it didn't happen. We just had we had to focus on other things. And then it just, anyway, we're just now starting. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk about. So we're just now starting. So I'm so excited. We're actually narrowing down the countries right now. Just recently, Corey was like, let's go, which I've been waiting for him because I've been like ready to start the adoption process for a hot minute now. But he's been kind of hesitant, not feeling like it's the right time. And just a couple weeks ago, he was like, yeah, I'm ready. So I'm so excited. So we have been doing our research. What's this? I'm on book 4 and my 7th reread of Wheel of Time. I'm looking forward to your reviews. Hope you like them. Thanks. Appreciate that. That's crazy. I love that people reread them so much. It gives me a lot of hope for how good it's going to be. So anyway, adoption. We've been doing a ton of research because a lot of countries aren't open right now, and there's a lot that goes into the adoption process. There's a lot that goes into what you have to look up before you even start. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of research. We are going to be adopting international, or at least we're pretty sure that's what we're going to do. That's definitely what we feel like we should do. It's just like what feels right to us right now. So yeah, we're thinking international, and we're looking up what countries are open right now and what their requirements are, because some countries require that both people are 30 plus years old, and I'm not. I'm 26, so we can't adopt from those countries. There are other countries that require, or they won't adopt children out unless they're a certain age. So like for instance, Mexico won't adopt children under 5 years old, which Drennan is only 2, so we can't adopt because it's not exactly a law or a requirement, but it's like it's so strongly recommended that it's basically a requirement that you don't disrupt the age order, the birth order. So like we can't adopt a child older than Dren, which I'm fine with. So we have to adopt 2 or younger. So that also eliminates a lot of countries that don't adopt that young. So there's just so many requirements. There's not very many countries open, and then all countries have their own requirements. So we're doing our research. We've got it narrowed down, and I think we're going to be able to solidify this is our country within the next couple of days, which I'm like, I'm so excited about. And then we already have our home study. We already know who we're doing our home study with, and I'm so excited. It's like finally starting. So I'm so excited. And adoption processes usually last 2 to 3 years is the average from when you start to when you bring your baby home. But we are going to be accepting children that are that have a minor disability. And that actually makes the process much faster because those children get passed by so easily. So it'll probably be closer to a year that we get to bring our baby home. I'm so excited. Okay, sorry, let's move on. Okay, let's check. Hey, Shay. Money towards the adoption. I know it's not much, but I want to help. Thank you, Shay. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that. Congrats on 50K donation for the adoption fund. You guys are awesome. Thank you so very much for all of this. I really, really, really appreciate it. I love how much support I'm getting here. I was just telling my mom, it's really wild to me that I'm getting more support, which my family is extremely supportive about adoption, but I'm getting more support online than I am in real life, because a lot of people just don't really get adoption. And they're just like, how could you love this child as much as the other? And like, just people that just don't get it. And it seems like you encounter those people a lot. And I've gotten so much support from you guys over this. And it makes me excited that I can be fully excited with you guys, because you guys are so excited too. Okay, moving forward. Plans to finish A Song of Ice and Fire. Yes, someday. It's not a priority to me at all. I actually haven't even checked. Next month, I have to do the DNF thing where I go through my seasonal DNFs and you guys vote which one that I'm going to pick back up. And I haven't even checked to see what's winning. So I will finish book 2 if that's the one that won the poll, because I have to read it in September. But if it didn't win the poll, then I'll probably put it off a while longer. Let's see here. Can you recommend new easy fantasy book that won't rely a lot on standard tropes? You want something easy that doesn't rely on tropes. That's a tough one. That's really hard, because usually the ones that deviate are the really more complex ones. Maybe A Wise Man's Fear. Not A Wise Man's Fear. What I'm talking about, The Name of the Wind. Because The Name of the Wind, I think, is very readable. There's plenty to it, but it's not hard to read. So that might be a good one, because it is very unique. And his writing is gorgeous. Dadgum. The chat just jumped. Sorry, if I miss your questions and stuff, please feel free to restate them. Okay, let's see. Do you know if you want a boy or a girl? I'm happy. Don't answer if you don't want. but why did you choose to adopt? Okay, sorry. Boy or girl? I'm happy with either. I love being the mom of a boy, and I would be thrilled to be the mom of 2 boys. Corey, I am pretty much open to any number of children, any type of child. I love being a mom. I'm just thrilled with my life, how it is, and I'm thrilled to add another baby to our family. Corey isn't sure how many kids he wants. And so because he's not sure if our family is going to be done after this one, or if we're going to keep adding to our family, because he isn't really sure how he feels at the moment, he wants a girl so that, I don't know, he can be a dad of both, I guess. So yeah, he wants a girl this time, and I'm fine with that. I'm good with anything. So we're going for a girl. And then next time, maybe we'll go for a boy again if we get a next time. Who knows? Why did we choose to adopt? The truth is that I feel like I was designed to adopt. I feel like it was what I was made to do. Since I was a little girl, I have always, like, even before I really understood it, I've always said I was going to adopt. And I just really think that this is something that God put in me. Like, I'm just made to do this. It's hard for me to put into words even now, but there are just so many children in the world that, like, need a family and a home. And I just, like, I can be that. You know what I mean? Like, I can be that. I can be what these kids need. They don't have a family. They don't have parents. I can do that. So I just want it so bad. I just feel like I was meant to be the family of a child that needs a family, because I know for a fact that when a child is yours, it's yours. And it doesn't matter how that child comes to you. It doesn't matter if you gave birth to them or if you adopted them. It doesn't matter. If a child is yours, that child is yours. And so if me adding to my family also means that I'm giving a child a better future, then, like, of course I want to do that. Okay, sorry. For Russian Lit, I recommend The Master and The Margarita. Okay, cool. Oh, the Discworld series. I have heard that. I've heard of that. I will check that one out for sure. You're such an amazing person. Thank you very much. You're so sweet. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay. All right, let's see. What age are you looking to adopt? Under 2. Corey says the younger the better. And again, I'm down for anything, so I'm pretty much just deferring to him at the moment because, again, this is what I feel like I was designed to do, so I'm down for anything. So whenever he has preferences, I'm like, cool, we'll go that way. Okay. Have you thought about making a Discord group for your community? I don't have one. I assume you're talking kind of like Daniel and Jay do. I don't have one that's just to chat. Open for everybody. I have my Discord with my Patreon, and we do have a normal chat as well as our buddy reads. And then I also have a Discord through Caravan, and you don't have to, like, Caravan's completely free. And that one is specifically for the book that we're buddy reading, but we all hang out and chat there. So it's really chill. It's not always about that. So either one of those, you could join. I recommend Russell Moore's Adopted for Life. Have you read it? No, but just off of the title, I want to. I will for sure check that out. Thank you. So many rules to get a kid into a home. Girl, you have no idea. Yeah. Not only that, but the cost is astronomical. Whether you're adopting domestic or international, it really sucks that it's so hard to get a child into a home. It really sucks. Okay, you need to read The Kite Runner or 1,000 Splendid Suns. I've been specifically warned not to read 1,000 Splendid Suns because of apparently something devastating that happens to a child. So I'm going to take my sister-in-law's advice and not mess with that one, but I do want to read The Kite Runner. Okay, any books that you read in school that became one of your favorites? You know, I had a kind of unique school experience. My school didn't require there wasn't very much required reading in my school. The way we did it is if you were already an avid reader, then they were thrilled that you were an avid reader, and we just had like little tests that we had to take on the computer for all the books that we read. And then if you're not an avid reader, then you get assigned books and you're required to read books. I don't know, it was kind of a weird system. So the only book I remember being required reading was Julia and Her Wolves, I think it was called, which is a classic, and I loved that. I named my dog after the wolf in that book. So there you go. Okay, let's see. Sorry, the chat just jumped again, so if I'm skipping questions, I'm not meaning to. Feel free to re-ask your questions. I wish I could help, but I'm broke. Please don't feel any obligation to help. You're totally fine. Y'all are supporting me a ton, and I'm crazy grateful for that. Okay, let's see. Do you play video games? You know, I don't play as much as I used to. My favorite video game growing up was Assassin's Creed, and I still really want to go back and play it some more. I also grew up on the Sega Genesis, and Streets of Rage is amazing. And I still have the Sega Genesis, and Corey and I, when we have like a date night, we bring out the Sega Genesis and we play Streets of Rage. But that's the only gaming console I still own, so that's all I have. I also liked Golden Axe on the Sega. But I used to have an N64, and I loved Super Mario 64, and we also had was it the GameCube that we had this on? We had Soul Calibur. I really liked that one a lot. I used to play The Sims a bunch. There were a lot of games I used to play. I really want to get back into some of these, but I don't have any consoles, so I don't really have an option at the moment. Okay. I'm getting a lot of repeat questions, but I assume it's because I'm behind on the chat. Thank you, guys. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to sift through the repeat questions that I've already answered. No burnt toast on this one? That sounds really familiar. I don't know what you're talking about, but you're referring to something from the last live chat, and I have no idea what it is. Okay. What is your favorite standalone currently? That would be And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. Yeah, Forever and For Always, probably. That book made me feel understood. Dadgummit, the chat just jumped. Okay, repeat your questions if I missed them. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Very, very sweet. Okay. I'm sure you'll make an amazing mother to an adopted child just like you are to your first. I really appreciate that. You guys are so sweet. Somebody's talking about my name, but I missed the original question. So feel free to repeat that. Are you native to Kentucky or did you grow up somewhere else? You mentioned California. Yeah, I've lived in a few different places. I was born and raised in Illinois, and then I moved to California to go to school. And I lived in California for a few years, and then I lived in North Carolina for a little while, and then back to California, and then now I live in Kentucky. Oh, well, I guess I went back to Illinois for a short time, and now I live in Kentucky. So I've lived kind of all over the place. The school I went to was kind of this traveling opportunity, so I've been to, I don't know, a dozen countries as well, which I'm very grateful for. I love experiencing other cultures. So yeah, I've had really awesome opportunities in my life. Okay, Kite Runner has something devastating that happens to a child as well. Cool, thank you. I appreciate the heads up. What non-book YouTubers, what non-book YouTubers do you watch? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't. The Carlin brothers. I watch the Carlin brothers. And I don't know that there's anyone else. I'm just not really a screen person. So YouTube, TV, movies, I don't know. I just, it's hard for me to sit down and watch something. I have a hard time not moving. So I don't even watch a lot of BookTube. I watch more BookTube than anything else, but I don't do well to just stop and watch something. So I'm kind of boring. I always feel bad when people want to chat with me about media, and I'm like, I'm boring. Don't buy Dark Matter. I'm still currently reading it, and once I finish, I'll send it to you. That's so nice. I'm actually reading the ebook from my library. Wait until I finish it. Make sure I like it before you mail it. But that's really, really kind of you. Thank you. How did you get into audiobook voiceover? So I started narrating. It's dumb, but I was putting my son to sleep, and the way he falls asleep is I just lay down with him and we snuggle until he falls asleep. And so I was just on my phone, chilling, waiting for him to nod off. And the thought popped into my head, how much does Michael Kramer make? I just wanted to know what an average audiobook narrator made because I was curious. So I Googled it, and the first thing that popped up was a course to take online to narrate audiobooks. And I signed up for the course literally because I had nothing else to do. Didn't even intend on taking the course. But when I got the email that the course was ready to begin, I was like, yeah, sure. I got some time. My son's napping. Why not? And I loved it. I loved it. And I went to Corey and I said, I know we're not spending money right now because we're saving. I'd love to buy a mic. And I'd love to try to do this thing. And he was so on board. He was so excited for me. He did tons of research because of the money, but then we ended up getting the right setup for me. And I don't know, man, it just kind of happened to me. Uh-oh, I might have gotten cut off. I wonder how much you guys actually heard of that. Am I still alive? Can y'all see me? Can you see me? It says my connection is unstable. Okay, everybody said yeah. All right, I'm gonna try to scroll up again now. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if I got cut off or if you didn't hear anything, but I don't even remember what I was talking about at this point. So let me just keep reading. Is your grandma German because you call her Oma? Yes and no. No, I think the answer is no. My German comes from my dad's side. So the answer is no. I call her Oma because when I grew up, she lived right next to a man from Germany, had a thick German accent, wonderful, wonderful guy. We used to go over to their house all the time and chat. And he always called his grandma Oma, and I thought it was cool. So I just told my Oma, I was like, I'm gonna start calling you Oma now. I grew up calling her Grammy. But I told her, I want to call you Oma because I like that better. And she said, okay. So I call my Oma, and my brother still calls her Graham. It's not very logical. Have you read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? Yeah, it's super good. Have you ever thought about adopting teens or older children in general? Yes. Like I said before, you're not supposed to break the birth order. So right now I can't adopt anyone older than 2 because Dren is 2. But when my kids are older, I would be super down for that. I just feel honestly open for anything. Like I would have 6 kids, which is funny because I was terrified when we got pregnant with Dren because I wasn't even sure if I fully wanted to be a mom. And now it's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But anyway, I'm down for anything. I could totally see down the line when our kids are a little bit older, adopting older kids. 100%. What's your education? What job did you have before YouTube? I had kind of a funny education. I did a trade school. So I was in public school until the 5th grade. And then I started homeschooling because the school system I was in was pretty bad. And it was just the right choice for our family. So we started homeschooling. And then I ended up testing out of the 5th grade. When we started homeschooling, I had to take my standardized test and everything. So I ended up skipping a couple grades. And I just worked. I did my schoolwork until I was 16. And then I started going to a community college at 16 to get my prerequisites out of the way. And that was cool, but I didn't really like it that much. So I decided to take a break, and I started doing this thing called YWAM, Youth with a Mission, which is kind of like a missionary training school because I want to do missions. I'm a Christian. And I just kind of stuck with YWAM. So it's kind of like this trade school for missions work. And I did that, and I did Bethel also in California. And I traveled a lot with both of those. And then I came home, and I planned on continuing with YWAM, but I met Corey, and instead I got married and worked for a pediatric dentist for a while. And then I got pregnant, and I had my son, and then I was a stay-at-home mom for 2 years, and now I'm an audiobook narrator. And we still plan on doing missions down the road, just not right now. We're still just waiting for the right time. So that's my education background. I'm going to keep recommending Kono Katachi till you mention it. Kono Katachi. All right, man, I've mentioned it. I don't know what it is, but I will look it up. Cool. Corey's in the chat, my husband. It's okay if you weren't born in Kentucky. Nobody's perfect. That's the kind of thing my husband would say. If you could read a book for the first time, what one would it be? Interesting. And Every Morning the Way Home. No, because I want to reread that one. So I don't think I want to read it again for the first time. Maybe The Lies of Locke Lamora. Is that a dumb answer? Maybe that one. Okay. You're too popular? Too many comments to get through. Have you ever been to Ireland? I haven't, but I would love to. Okay. Scrolling through, trying to find more questions. Thank you. People are chatting about the videos I did with Daniel. That was fun. I really had fun doing that. What's your fondest reading memory? Okay, let me think. I really loved, I guess I have a lot of those because I grew up reading, but I really loved when I first learned to read and was first learning to read. And I was reading the Junie B. Jones books with my mom. I don't really know why, but for a long time we had a bed downstairs. We had a downstairs and upstairs in our house. And for a long time we had a bed downstairs. And it was like mom's workroom where she worked from home, but there was a bed in there. I think because my brother had bad allergies or something and he had to sleep downstairs. I don't really know. But I remember sitting on that bed reading Junie B. Jones with my mom, and I was really bad at it. And it took us forever to get through the pages. But I remember being so proud because I had memorized the opening page where it's like, I'm Junie B. Jones and I do this and I do that. And I just remember being so proud that I remembered it, and I would try to trick my mom and be like, I can read super fast, and I'd just read that super fast. And I'm like, see, I'm such a good reader. And she's like, great, read the next page. And I'm like, you can read that page. And I don't know, I thought I had her tricked, but looking back, people aren't stupid. And I wasn't very smart, apparently. I know you're just starting to read some romance. Would you be interested in trying historical romance? If so, what's some of your favorite tropes so I can find you some? I can try them. I've never been interested in historical romance, but hey, I'll give it a go. I don't even know if I've ever properly read any. So Friends to Lovers is my favorite trope. Have you read Percy Jackson? No. I think I read the first couple when I was in like high school or something, but not since then. Oop, oh, daggum. The chat jumped again. Sorry, guys. Repeat your questions if I missed them. I think you didn't like Evelyn Hardcastle. You are correct. Okay, now y'all are talking about something that I missed. How old are you? I'm 26. I turned 27 in September. Which website do you use to buy books you read and recommend so I can at least have a look at what's to offer and buy them here in the Netherlands? I don't really buy books, honestly. Like I've mentioned, we're on a super tight budget because we're saving up for adoption. So I haven't bought a book. I think I've bought 6 books this year, and they were all like gifts from Corey to me for anniversary and Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So, I mean, technically I didn't buy them, but we share a bank account, so I bought them. And that's all I've bought this year. So, but before that, Book Depository is really good. Book Outlet is really good. Well, Book Depository isn't really good, but it has lower prices sometimes. Book Outlet is really good. And Amazon, I use Amazon a lot. I live in a really small town, so we don't actually have a good bookstore or a big bookstore. So I have to drive like an hour and a half to get to one that might have something I'm interested in. Is an audiobook narrator a good paying job? Yes. Let's see. I knew you'd say that one for Lies. Are you talking about Lies of Lockamore? We're planning to adopt a teen. That's why I asked. Well, congratulations. It's amazing. Are you ever thinking Oh, thinking about picking up climbing again. Would you give China Meevil books a chance, please? I've never read that author, but I will look them up. And rock climbing, I would love to pick up rock climbing again. I don't have a climbing buddy here. Corey's not interested in climbing. My dad can't do it anymore. He was my old climbing buddy, and he lives next door to me. If you don't know, my whole family lives right like next door to each other. But anyway, yeah, I have not found someone to climb with here in Kentucky. That's true. There's a lot of Kentucky pride here. It's funny. How would you feel about a video series doing genre explainers? You know, I've really considered it. Like when I did that, what was it called? The explaining booktube terms thing. I considered doing that, but I don't know, that would just be a lot of research, because a lot of my comments that I got from that video was, can you explain the difference between this genre and this genre? And there's a lot of subgenres, and it's all really confusing, but that would just take so much research. So I don't know. I think I want to do that eventually. It's just a lot. I started reading Beartown. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you love it. Yes, my birthday is in September. You are correct. Okay. Y'all are talking about stuff I don't know in the chat, so I'm scrolling through looking for more questions. From your videos, you love deaf representation in books, correct? If you don't mind, where did that love for the deaf community come from? So, growing up, some of my closest friends were their grandparents were deaf, and I became super close with my friends' grandparents, and I loved them so much and really wanted to communicate with them. So they taught me some sign language, but they didn't speak. They weren't mute, but they didn't speak. So it was kind of hard for me to learn sign language from them, because they would have to write stuff down. It just went really slow. So I ended up going to the community college when I was in the 8th grade. I couldn't take the class without my mom signing up with me. So my mom and I signed up for sign language class in our local community college that was an hour away. And we went there every week and we took sign language together and learned how to sign so that I could communicate better with my friends' grandparents. And I grew up signing with them and chatting with them, and I loved them. They were the nicest, kindest people in the world. And I don't know, I just kind of loved them so much that I now love their community by extension. Does that make sense? I would love to adopt a deaf child, because they get passed by a lot in the adoption process, and I would love that. Even though you're not big on media, do you have a favorite film? That's a good question. I like Disney movies, the ones that I've seen. I really like just chill movies a lot of times. I loved the Lord of the Rings movies when I watched those. The honest truth is that I probably usually watch 1 to 2 movies a year. So I haven't seen enough movies that I know that I could have a favorite. I don't think I do have a favorite film. I just watched Mulan with my son yesterday, and that was awesome. I loved Mulan. I mean, I've seen it before, but I loved rewatching it. Oh, dadgummit. Sorry, the chat jumped. I'm trying to back up. Wow, okay, I was really behind. How did you get into reading? Were your parents into reading? My mom was into reading. I remember my brother and I used to go outside a lot and just play, because we lived on acreage. We had a lot of space to roam about, and yeah, we would always go outside, and Mom always went outside with us and just sat in a lawn chair and read while we played in the trees. And I don't know if that's what got me into reading, seeing her read so much, or what it was, but I just have always loved it. I've never not loved reading. Have you read Outlander? No. Oh my goodness, I don't know. What's one genre that you really want to like but have yet to find a book that will let you stick to it? That's a really good question. I don't know that I have a genre quite like that, but the closest to it might be sci-fi. I really, really want to get into sci-fi, but it's really hit or miss for me. Some that I've picked up I've loved, and some I haven't liked, so I still don't even know if I like that genre or not. And historical fiction is another one that I've loved. A lot of historical fictions I've read, but I never want to pick one up. So, but I don't dislike them, so I don't know. Are there more backflashes in Red Skies Under Red Seas? Yeah, it's the theme of the whole book. So if you don't like those, I mean, it's the theme of the whole series. So if you don't like those, it's not going to get better. Okay. People keep talking about me as a Virgo. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what that means. So I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. You should definitely play Skyrim and The Witcher 3. I've actually heard that quite a bit about Witcher and about Skyrim, and I would love to play them, but I couldn't find a way to play them online from my computer. And like I said, I don't have any gaming consoles other than the Sega Genesis, so I don't know how to do that. Calculating by Stars. Mary Ribbonite Kowal is a great alternate history set in the 50s. I highly recommend it, though I don't normally read that type. Okay, Mary, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I'm going to look that up after the live chat. Thank you very much. Okay. Only an hour and a half. I don't know. Oh, you mean because of the bookstore? Yeah, I know. And I never travel to Lexington, so, which is the hour and a half away. I never travel there, ever. So I never get to go to a bookstore. Have you read Crime and Punishment or War and Peace? I've not read either of those yet. Where did your love... Oh, I've already read that one. Have you read How to Win Friends and Influence People? Dude, I am currently reading that one. So good on ya. And it's really good. I like it a lot. You said you were Christian. I was wondering if you had a denomination. The church I go to is non-denominational, so I guess no. Okay, let's see here. Oh, chat just jumped. Sorry. Are you going to answer all the questions? Probably not, because the chat keeps jumping and I keep losing my place. Okay. Have you read Percy Jackson? No. Have you read Uprooted or Spinning Silver? I actually DNF'd Uprooted. I'm willing to give it another try, though, but I didn't like it. And I super didn't like the guy that looked like he was going to be the love interest. You were reading Oliver Twist a while ago, right? I can't remember if you finished it. The honest truth is that I put it down and forgot that I was reading it. So I guess I sort of DNF'd, not forever, but I don't know. I forgot I was reading it and never picked it back up. I kind of suck. Oh, good. I'm glad. I hope you enjoy Gentlemen Bastards. Let's see. Daggum, the chat just jumped again. Sorry, guys. Love my reviews. Thank you. Do you listen to audiobooks? I do. About half the books I read are audiobooks. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm sorry if there's a bunch of like dead space while I'm trying to read comments. Do you read autobiographies? I haven't read a lot, but I do enjoy them. You really like Peter Pan, right? Have you read The Child Thief? You know what? Somebody asked me what my favorite standalone was, and I forgot that Peter Pan would probably fall into that category before And Every Morning The Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, because Peter Pan is like my favorite book ever. So, yes, I've read Peter Pan. Love it. And no, I haven't read The Child Thief, but I own it. Elle from Elliot Brooks actually gave it to me for Christmas, and I still haven't read it. Why? I probably should, since I'm in the mood for something spooky and stuff. Okay. Do you have some new channel goals? No. I don't think I really make channel goals. At least I don't think I do. Yeah, I just really like my channel where it is right now. So I'm happy. I'm really happy. If you're in a spooky horror vibe, golly, I strongly suggest reading H.P. Lovecraft. You know, I've heard of that author. I should look them up. Have you gotten a shorter haircut? Yes, I did get a haircut. I told her not to cut off any length, and I think she cut off an inch. So my hair must have been really unhealthy if it needed that much off of it. And then, of course, because it's cut, it's a lot curlier, so then it looks even shorter. But I really needed a cut because my curls were not holding anymore. I recently read Oathbringer, and I was hugely disappointed. I'm sorry about that. I didn't like the ending of Oathbringer at all, but I liked the majority of the book. And I'm hopeful that book 4 will make me less displeased with the ending of book 3. Accidental DNF. I do it all the time. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's see. Thanks for your video on how much you make on YouTube. It was the clearest I'd ever seen anyone explain it. I know it's not your normal type of video, but I really thought it was cool. Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. I was really nervous to do that video because I expected, I don't know, it's the internet, you know? So I just expected a lot of people being mad because I breathe the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, it's the internet. But actually, I've gotten a ton of positive feedback on that video. Corey is the one that like convinced me to do it because he was like, people are interested in this. People ask me this all the time. Just tell them. And I was like, I don't want to because people are weird about discussing money. So I didn't want to do it. But I did get a couple of comments where people were like, ew, why are you talking money? That's so tacky. But I mean, I disagree. I actually think it's really healthy to discuss money because okay, so it seems like you're allowed to discuss money if you're talking about how poor you are. But if you're talking about making money, it's rude. And I don't really understand that mentality because I feel like you should be allowed to talk about it either way. Because when I hear somebody say that they have a really solid job or, you know, they're doing well for themselves and they built something great for themselves, like, I'm proud of them and I'm excited for them. And I find that really encouraging. Just recently, someone that I've known my whole life told me a little bit about their financial situation because Corey and I are saving so hard. And she just wanted to let me know what you're doing works and it is effective. And let me tell you my story a little bit. And it meant the world to me because, and she was really uncomfortable telling me this because she didn't want to come off braggy. And I was like, you're not coming off braggy at all. This is like the most encouraging thing right now to know that you, who are just an average person who's never had a big prestigious job, investings, and it's taken you so far. Like, that's so encouraging to me. And I really understand why that's taboo to talk about. I feel like we should be encouraging each other with like tips that work and just encouragement in general and being more open and honest about the situations that we're in. If we're I just don't really understand why talking money is so taboo because I think it's encouraging when someone says, I'm in a job that's really doing well, making me in a position where I can provide for my family well. Like, why is that such a negative thing to say? That's so weird for me. And it's not like my YouTube earnings are something astronomical and, you know, like I said, it's the internet. People on the internet are weird. Apply to it because it's a tough one for me. My papa made those for me. He made, it says my connection's unstable, so I also made the one that you don't see in my camera view in all the bookcases in my mom's house and all of our cabinets, and he's a carpenter and it's amazing and I love him. Okay. You didn't participate in the reading rush this year. Why? I just don't really enjoy readathons. I don't read more in a readathon because I already read a lot. And so I feel like pushing myself to read more would be taking away some of my enjoyment in reading because I already read so much and I already spend most of my spare time reading. So to read more would mean to read faster. And I already read at a pace that I really like. So I just don't really think it would be fun for me to do. I don't know. I don't really, I want to participate in readathons because I love the community aspect of it, but I personally just don't end up enjoying them. So that's why I didn't do it. If I remember right, I was blown away by the ending of Oathbringer. Oh, were you? Cool. My curls haven't held in years, no matter how I cut it. I'm tempted to just shave it all off at this point. I shaved my head, and I really liked it. It felt great to be bald, and my hair grew back completely different. I actually used to have super thick, tangly, terrible, impossible to manage, straight, awful hair. And then I shaved it because my friend had cancer and she had to shave her head. And I happened to be at her house when her hair started falling out. And she was like, I'm gonna shave my head. You want to shave yours too? And I was like, well, let's do it. So I shaved my head when I was 12. And it was awesome. I loved being bald and my hair grew back way better. So yeah, do it. It's great. I love it. What's Corey reading right now? He's not reading anything. But for my birthday, I'm asking for him to read The Lies of Locke Lamora. So he has to do it because that's all I'm asking for. Well, that and coffee crisps because we don't have those in America. Have you heard Hunger Games? I love the series, but the ending made me so mad. I hated the ending to the Hunger Games. If you do get into video games, you would also love games like Life is Strange, BioShock Infinite, and Mass Effect. I've not heard of any of those, but I will look them up. The Foundation trilogy is going to be on my September TBR. Well, at least the first book in the trilogy. If you're interested in getting into more sci-fi, I recommend The Expanse. Cool, thank you. I think I want to try Sleeping Giants soon. I've heard really good things about that one. Okay, let's see, a polite request. Please do more videos outside of fantasy. I really like your videos, but truth is fantasy is not my cup of tea. Totally understand. I do read a lot of fantasy, but I'm trying to stretch outside of that. I'm trying to read more genres. I read I, Robot in the Foundation trilogy. Murphy read I, Robot. Oh, yes, I did. I read I, Robot, but I have not read the Foundation trilogy yet. I think money should be openly discussed, especially if you're in a workplace, because then you have more collective power. I totally agree with you on the whole money topic. Okay, so now I'm caught up to the chat when I was talking about money. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad you guys think so too. Are you working the Dave Ramsey steps? That's really cool. My husband actually listens to Dave Ramsey every single day. He's obsessed with Dave Ramsey, and I really like him too. I don't listen to him nearly as much, but we are currently both listening to the audiobook of Smart Money, Smart Kids, which is by Dave Ramsey and his daughter. And we're not doing the Dave Ramsey steps because we're not in. So the Dave Ramsey steps starts with. Well, I guess we are working on the Dave Ramsey steps. So I guess that was a lie. We are. But it starts with getting rid of your debt, all debt except for your house debt. And Corey and I both came from families who had very little. Both his parents and my parents, when they got married, were very broke and had to just work really, really, really hard to get to the stable place that they're at now. And because we both came from scrappers, we both are naturally very, very frugal people. And because of that, and because of just a lot of things, we are in a position now where our house is the only debt that we have. So we don't have to start at the beginning with Dave Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey has been great for helping us learn how to invest wisely. And we are investing. We're investing in our retirement. And that's one thing that we're getting a lot more. We were already consistent about, but we're investing more now. And we are starting to invest for Dren's college, which we wouldn't have even considered doing without Dave Ramsey. So yeah, we are using his steps loosely, but we're mostly using him just for wise financial decisions and for wise investing decisions and stuff like that. Okay. The live is glitching. Ah, shucks. I don't know how much you missed. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry. The chat just jumped again. Okay. I'm sorry. Now I'm caught up with the chat, so I probably skipped a bunch of you guys' comments. So I'm sorry. You can repeat your questions if I missed it. When is the next collab with Daniel? I don't know. He invited Corey and I to Ohio to come stay with him. So we might do. eventually. I mean, like not like we're not planning it right now or anything like that, so it wouldn't be for a minute. But we might go visit him sometime, and in that case, we would do a collab then too. But we live in different states, so we're not going to be collabing very often. I discovered your channel through searching for fantasy recommendations. Cool, that's awesome. Okay, my voice is like about to give out, so I'm probably gonna have to quit soon. What do you use to edit your videos? Final Cut Pro. Have you ever heard of Maria V. Snyder? No, then I will look her up. Y'all feel free to recommend these authors in any comments on my videos as well, because I can't really look them all up right now, but I always do if I get comments on my videos. I always have Goodreads up while I'm answering comments. Do you read Stephen King? I've read 2 Stephen King books. I've read Pet Sematary and Misery, and I loved them both, and I have The Shining on my TBR for this month. Ah, the chat's skipping again. Okay, what are your thoughts on Warbreaker? Warbreaker is one that has, that's by Brandon Sanderson, that's one that has a lot of really mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love it. I think Warbreaker was awesome, and it's the prequel to the Stormlight Archive, so I do recommend reading it first. It's not necessary, but it's good. Okay, someone asked about my acne. Yeah, I used to have super bad acne. I actually have this really rare disease that I'm not going to talk about, but one of the ways it affects me is it affects my skin. And so I've always had terrible acne my whole life because of this disease. And I used to go to a dermatologist and I would get prescription medication for my acne, and nothing helped. Nothing helped because it was something that wasn't just from having a dirty face. But actually, I only within the last year have finally, and I used to switch, wasn't helping, and give it 3 or 4 months. And when that still wasn't helping, I'd try something new. And I finally found something that worked for me. Should I go get it? Do y'all want to see? Hang on. Okay, here's what I use. I'll be really brief because I know a lot of people won't care about this. Mario Badescu. That's the face wash I use. And then I use this toner twice a day. And this is spot acne. And in the evenings, I put this on my face, on the where acne is, and wear that overnight. I switched to this makeup, which has helped. It doesn't break me out like other makeups do. And probably the best part about the whole thing is just witch hazel. I put witch hazel on my face probably like 5 times a day. Because I work from home, I don't have to wear makeup every day. So I'm mostly makeup free, and I always have been really comfortable not wearing makeup. Even when my acne was super bad, I didn't really care. I pretty much always just didn't wear makeup. Because it was just a part of my life, you know, it's not something you can help. So, yeah, I've always not worn makeup very much, but now, since I work from home, I just put this on like 5 times a day. Like pretty much anytime I think about it, I'm like, oh, let's go put some more witch hazel on. And that has been the thing that's really, I mean, the whole thing that I just showed you has been great, but that has been the thing that's finally broken down all my acne. Okay. Ah, dadgummit, the chat just skipped again. Okay. Do you listen to high fantasy books on audiobook? If you do you find it hard to follow along with what's going on? No, I usually read my high fantasy. Like I physically read the 5th season. I physically read all my Wheel of Time books. And sometimes I'll like listen to the audiobook along with the physical if I'm finding something particularly difficult to read. Because I have access, my whole family shares an Audible account and we all read fantasy, so we all kind of share the books we buy. So I have a lot of the books that I end up reading. But no, I usually physically read high fantasy and then low fantasy, or even like I listened to the audiobook for City of Brass. But that's high fantasy technically, but it was such a chill, easy to read story that it was easy to do on audio. Okay. Have you considered reading philosophy? You should. No, I don't think I have, now that you mention it. I can't think of anything that I've read. So if you want to recommend something, go right ahead. Okay. What's your favorite book series? The Gentleman Bastard series. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to answer this question or not. How personal do I really want to get? Okay. Someone asked if I'm still writing anything. I'm gonna say no. I wrote this book called Perfection. It's on Wattpad, and I wrote the sequel to Perfection, but I never published it. It's done. It's been done for a year. It's ready to be published. I just can't do it. Dadgummit. The truth is that the book is done. It just needs one more read through just to get my final edits done. And writing is a hobby. It's not a career path I'm trying to do or anything. It's just something I do for fun, which is why it's on Wattpad. It's just something fun I do. So, but anyway, it needs one more read through. And it's been there for a year. It's been done and just in need of one more read through for a year. But I can't read it through. Every time I try, I can't do it because I finished it right when my papa got sick. And my time had to be focused elsewhere. And then when he passed away, I just can't go back to it. It's like it's done. It's ready. And I can't do the final read through. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe someday. Okay, moving forward. Do you ever feel uncomfortable sharing how much you earn from YouTube? Not really, because it's not like it's some impressive amount. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows that you make something off of YouTube, and everybody's curious how much that something is. So people have these assumptions, like some people are like, oh my gosh, you hit 58K, you're gonna make millions now. And that makes me more uncomfortable than just telling the truth, like letting people believe that I either make a ton more, a ton less, or just anything. Just all the speculation makes me a lot more uncomfortable than just telling the truth and letting people know what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like a lot of like, I bet this and I bet that. I'd rather just say, no, it's this. Oh man, sorry, chat just jumped. Okay. You used to not vibe with fantasy. Why do you think your taste changed? Because I read Mistborn. I think I was just picking up the wrong fantasy books, and then I kept picking up the wrong ones, and then I wasn't trying any new ones, and then my brother was like, read Mistborn or else. And he didn't quite word it like that, but he basically worded it like that. And I finally read it, and it ruined my life. Just kidding. It was the best thing ever. Let's see. I'm going to quit soon, guys. So let me just answer a couple more, and then I'm going to say bye because my throat is dying. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about right now. Okay. The chat's jumping again. Where has World Hoppers been? Yeah, we missed our last one. We usually post every 2 weeks, and we missed our last upload because, I don't know, I think just a bunch of us couldn't make the filming for that one, so we were just like, it wouldn't be fun with only a couple of us. So we decided to skip that one, but we're filming again on Monday, which means we're uploading again on Wednesday, so we're coming. Do you have to build up to reading epic fantasy? Priory was the first fantasy I read, and I didn't really struggle. Good for you. I don't think Priory is, well, there was a lot to it. So yeah, that's good. That's good that you didn't struggle. Do you have to build up? Sorry. Do you have to build up? I guess it depends on who you are. I had to build up. I certainly couldn't start with high, epic, intense fantasy. Mistborn was my intro into high fantasy, and it was the thing that made me fall in love with fantasy. But I don't know. I needed to build up. I certainly couldn't do, like, I couldn't have started with Stormlight and been happy. Okay, like 1 or 2 more, and then I'm gonna quit. How do you usually get over reading slumps? I'm at this point right now where every time I try to read, I get bored really fast. It's pretty frustrating. I'm sorry. I really don't slump very often because, I don't know. I guess just because it's like what I do. Like if I have spare time, I'm always so excited to read. And if I don't feel like reading, then I edit a video. And those are the 2 things I do. I narrate audiobooks, I film and edit videos, and I read. And I don't know. I guess I never have a long stretch of time where I don't feel like reading, so I'm not entirely sure. I know that like 2 years ago, I was in a slump that lasted a few months, and I ended up just reading a bunch of books outside of my comfort zone. That was when I found Mistborn. I mean, my brother told me to read Mistborn, but that was when I read it. And I read a couple other books, some thrillers that I loved. So just reading outside of what you normally read might help. You might find that it's not that you don't like reading anymore, but that you're tired of the same things that you keep picking up and you just want something different. Maybe try that, or try a reread if you like rereading. That always makes me feel better. How do you balance what you want to read for you and what your subscribers want you to read? That's a really good question. I guess I don't really balance it that well because I pretty much let my subscribers choose my TBR for the most part. I try to pick up whatever you guys are telling me to pick up if it looks interesting to me, because I started this channel so that I could chat with people about books, and that's still what I want from this channel. So I'm chatting with you guys about books. That's what I do in the comments of every single video. So when you guys want to talk to me about a book, I want to read that book because that's the point of reading the book. Here, Joe. Sorry, Joe just said I have some trolls, so I'm just going to make her a moderator. All right, Joe, you're a moderator. Handle that. Anyway, so I want to read the books that you guys are recommending because I want to talk to you about them. What I really want to be reading, like really intensely, this is what I'm the most excited about. I do usually put 1 or 2 of those on my TBR every month, but the majority of my TBR is led by you guys. And I do wish that I gave myself a little bit more wiggle room so that if I was super excited for a book right now, I could just pick it up and not worry about that. And I could, like, I control my life. I can do what I want, but I always pack my TBR so tight with all of you guys' recommendations that some of that freedom does not end up happening. But that's okay because you guys know my reading taste and you guys recommend some of my favorite books in the world to me. So I don't really mind because you guys really steer me right. So my answer is I don't balance it well at all, but it works out in the end. So, okay. I think I'm gonna go. My throat's gonna just quit on me. So I'm done. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Thanks for 50K. You guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate all the love and support you give me. You make my channel an absolute blast to upload on. I always look forward to uploading videos because you guys seriously make it the best thing ever. So thank you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with a reading vlog. Bye.